Hello, this talk is on paleontology. I'm going to ask you which is the more sophisticated uh, species, group of species, mammals or dinosaurs? Well, uh, what is not understood and often um, left out of paleontology is that the whole lineage of mammal-like reptile species existed before the dinosaurs. So you have, if you take the example of the duck-billed platypus, that is a mammal-like reptile. It exhibits both reptilian and mammal features. It exudes milk out of the skin, and also lays eggs, and is one of the more unique mammals, mammalians, in that it has a poison bite. Now, if I can just break away for a second, I'll show you some good books to read on paleontology is Dinosaur Heresies by Robert Bakker, and he explains much more about mammal-like reptiles than other authors. You see there, put down. Very, very, very good book. Just as good as uh, Dinosaur Heresies is Archosauria by John C. McLaughlin, which is all hand sketched, and a more perhaps orthodox way of looking at dinosaurs. In this, author still believes that some of the dinosaurs were cold-blooded, which has been disproven, and that's Dinosaur by David Norman. See some good graphics in there. Now, the question about whether dinosaurs were cold-blooded seem to become the dominant argument during the 1990s. If you look at dinosaur bones, they're very much like birds' bones. They are very porous. They've got channels in there to take blood from the bone marrow to the muscles. So you're seeing those quick reactive muscles there to produce the energy, to produce the speed, to produce a creature that is fast moving. What of dinosaur intelligence? Well, are dinosaurs as cognitively advanced as modern mammals? Well, Robert Bakker argued that because of the different physiology of dinosaurs, for instance, with smaller brains in their heads, but compared to modern animals of equivalent size, but underneath the spinal hip bone area, there's been found large masses of nervous indications of nervous tissue. Now, this is the second brain theory, or an enlarged spinal cord, which would deal with the lower cognitive functions of just running the larger bodies. Now, of course, not all dinosaurs were large bodied. Many of them were very small, and these are the ones that developed into birds. I'm not going to show you a model here, but I have got a model available. One of the mammal-like reptiles. Well, of course, they were outcompeted originally by the dinosaurs and went into a strategy of survival whereby they took on the smaller niche roles. Now, if you look at modern, of course, and the dinosaurs dominated for a long, long time, we're seeing now more and more, with more and more advanced methods, the more delicate bones, the more delicate varieties of dinosaurs, for instance, with far more bird-like dinosaurs being discovered, especially in China, especially in Mongolia. These are places which were untapped reserves, and also were beginning to give a full map of all the kinds of fauna and flora, because not only are dinosaurs being found, but um, also mammals, reptiles, plants that they ate, which is very important, because otherwise you're just taking the animal and then you're trying to extrapolate what kind of food that they ate, what kind of lives they led, and this is all very important to know. Um, are any of these climatic changes in there relevant to today? You can say that paleontology is a subject of interest, but not necessarily something that affects our daily lives. Well, it may do, because if we can prove that there were survival strategies for animals that were living in temperatures much higher today, with much higher CO2 levels than today, where things were seeming to grow much more, isn't that important for agriculture? If we can find a way if we can find a way that Jurassic and Cretaceous vegetation grew much faster and seemed to have a much greater biodiversity than some parts of the world today, where we're losing biodiversity, we can use the fossil record to perhaps use those plants that are hardier, that have relatives that are living today, that we can cultivate more. Um, Not getting away from the subject of paleontology, but an interesting concept has come around to use what's called forest garden farms, where you can use layers of different vegetation to feed different to feed the different kinds of foods that you need, and perhaps this is why also the dinosaurs years ago, with access to forests that had many layers, were able to be such a successful group of species. Now today we're seeing mammalian biodiversity being threatened, but the mammals have been extremely successful, and I would argue they are even more successful than the dinosaurs, in that they have reached every area of the planet. The dinosaurs, for instance, had to compete with mammal-like reptiles that were in the sea and also flew, and they simply dominated the land. And later on, you got bird-like species that took flight. But mammals, from the blue whale to the sonic hearing of bats, has been able to colonise every area of the world, and even down to the very deepest seas. You'll be able to see whales going down to those depths, which dinosaurs never managed to do, and it's only been 60 million years. I'm obviously, as somebody who's interested in paleontology, I obviously have a belief in the sophistication of dinosaurs as a group of species. They were extremely fast. They were intelligent species, as rather than what they're normally thought of as bird-brained or slow reptilian brains. Surely there may have even been a possibility that some of them were highly intelligent, but these species have yet to be found. But the mammals seem to have, obviously because of human beings, have seemed to have accelerated their evolution much faster than the dinosaurs did over 100 million years. And so evolution being the way it is, you're going to get some more sophisticated creatures. Robert Bakker has even argued that the dinosaurs were on their way out before the meteorite strike, which is an interesting theory. And there's also been theories about disease and starvation of other kinds. But it is evident that the toughness of that group of species is evident because of the survival of birds and the magnificence of birds all around the world. And with that, I'm going to conclude the talk. Thank you for listening.